here from
That's right.
Denver, Colorado, home of Remax World Headquarters. It's Adam Contos, CEO of Remax here.
I know we said we were going to stop dancing in the new year, but there's just something about the intro, and so you can't help but bob your head and feel a little good.
It's pretty groovy, you know.
That's right. Well, hey, since it's the new year and people are tuning in, I thought that it'd be appropriate for you to maybe talk about 5 ways that we can start 2022, which is crazy to say. Right. How do we start this year off on a great foot?
Is this a personal development podcast?
I think this is a personal development podcast.
Whoa. All right. All right, everybody. Before we begin our personal development podcast, how to start 2022 on the right foot or left foot if you're left-footed.
That's
Pull
right.
out a piece of paper and a pen because we're going to do this right. Okay, people? Or take notes if you're using like notes on your computer or some sort of recording item. Oh, look at that.
That's
Mark's
right.
got his journal.
Oh yeah.
I like that.
I just like writing. You know?
I do too.
And I'm a tech guy. I love putting notes and saving notes on my iPhone. It's so convenient too. A lot of times in meetings, I'm typing in notes in because I can keep them for later. But sometimes I just like to sit down with a pen and paper and just quickly do some shorthand and come back to it. And,
Hey, do you have a fountain pen?
I do not have a fountain pen.
Oh my gosh.
My birthday's in March.
You need a fountain pen, Mark.
Okay.
Good gift idea for producer Mark as a fountain pen.
That's right.
I have a fountain pen, and I love how it feels on the
really?
paper. Yeah, I mean, just the way it feels on the paper and the sound it makes.
It's very tactile, like experience.
Yeah, it's not that tapping like when you're writing on your iPad with the stylus. Like,
Yeah, there is something there that feels a little bit mechanical and just a little off for sure.
Right. So, all right, 5 ways to start 2022 right. And I started this with write it down. So I'm going to say write it down. So really, what are we talking about here? Before you do anything else, get out a piece of paper and a pen and write yourself a contract. Okay? In 2022, I am going to do the following, and you're going to sign it as well. Okay? Because we're making commitments here. There are a lot of people that decide to do things on the new year that don't fully commit. And what happens is we haven't made any promises to ourselves or others because we're going to find a witness to this, folks, so that somebody can ask you, please account for what you've done. That's called being accountable, you know, and we're going to talk about this. And this is scary for a lot of people because they don't want to fully commit. They want to be able to decide, well, is this best for me? Is this not best for me? Whatever it might be, on a fleeting basis based upon their feelings. But here's the reality. Your feelings will prevent you from achieving more than not. Okay?
Right.
Because
it doesn't feel good to wake up super early. It doesn't feel good to push yourself beyond exertion at the gym. Like, it doesn't feel good to make those extra calls or to have awkward conversations.
Yep, exactly. And so here's what you're going to do. On that piece of paper, the first way to start right is you're going to go beyond what you think you can do, and you're going to write +2 up there, okay?
Oh.
+2. They used to say +1. Now it's +2, buddy.
You're just inching it every time.
That's
just
it.
a little bit more.
We're leveling up here, okay? And I'm going to talk about that here in a second. But you have to say +2 because and I got this from a trainer that I subscribe to online. Her name is Jessica Gunn, and it's Gunning for Fitness if you want to look her up. But she has this philosophy of death +2 when you're working out. And I thought, how can I apply that to business? Because I always want to be, you always want to be one step better than you thought you could be. But what if you tried to get 2 steps better? Because when you're exercising and you go +2 beyond what your limits are, that's where the growth occurs. That's truly where the growth occurs. So, for instance, let's say, Mark, you talked about, and I'm not going to lay down business plans here. You can set your own business goals, things of that nature. But, let's say you were going to call 10 clients a day. Well, what if you called 12? Okay. Because that's, by the way, that is an additional 40 a month. Okay.
Wow. Yeah, you don't think about that when you say, "Oh, I'm just going to do 2 more a day." But then
Right.
when you think about it, and like when you look back on it, it's like, wow, that actually adds up.
Yeah. So it's an additional 500 a year for crying out loud. For some people, they don't even make 500 to begin with during a year. So this is an
Right.
additional 500 a year if you take 2 weeks off, and you add 2 calls a day. It's incremental growth that compounds to really massively add up. Darren Hardy, good friend of ours, wrote the book The Compound Effect, and it's those little extra things that add up over time because you're adding them within your system. So +2. Now I want you to use that in your exercise. I want you to use that in your relationships. How do you use that in your relationships, Adam? You talk to 2 more people a day that are important to you, or you say I love you 2 more times, or 2 more hugs, or 2 more handwritten notes, or 2 more something or other. But +2 is magic.
+2.
And guess what year it is? 2022. Hey,
There we go.
we got lots of 2s.
It's all coming together.
All right, let's move on to the second thing. Let's go into number 2.
Okay. Number
Bam!
2.
Hey, there it is again. Okay, you hear me talk about this a lot, and it is really important, and I mean it. Simple, small word means a lot. Learn, okay? Learn, and learn to love learning. A lot of people are like, oh, do I have to take that class? What if you enjoyed doing that? What would the results be? First of all, retention, long-term memory versus short-term memory, because there's a task and then there's truly accomplishment that we continue to put into our long-term memory, which builds our skills and makes us better at things. So learn, and then put together a learning list that you want to accomplish for this year. So just for instance, I started the end of the year, I was interested, and I'm always looking for things to learn, by the way. I was interested in how do I become a better coach? Okay, so what are the key coaching skills? So I found a 13-week coaching class that's like pretty much every day for 13 weeks. You've got exercises, you're meeting with other people to do back and forth coaching, and trainings on how to better understand psychology of growth and things of that nature. So, I mean, it costs thousands of dollars. I'm like, worth it. I'll put this down because it's going to pay off in spades for me. You know, I look for the X factor in learning. You know, how many X times can you gain out of this? And you know, additionally, it's stuff that I can come back and I can help other people with. So there's a feeling of intrinsic satisfaction that occurs. But I looked at that and I thought, you know, I'm going to learn. And people are like, do you have time to do that? I mean, you don't have time not to do it, for crying out loud. Because go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, it's one of those things where I always find that there's always more time in the day when I need there to be more time in the day. Like when I make it a priority to have more time in my day. You know, people are always like, oh, I don't have enough time. But it's like, well, where did you find time to sit and watch, you know, YouTube for an hour? Or where did you find time to you know, do whatever you make time for things that are important, and you can kind of create that time wherever it is in your day. There's going to be time, but you just have to, you know, make it.
Exactly. And for people who, I mean, I've got a solution for people who don't have time here pretty soon, but I want to get on to the third one. So the first one is commit in writing. The second one is learn. And the third one is give. Give. Now this goes hand in hand with number 2, learn, because what you should be doing is you should be taking the content that you learned and giving it to people. And I don't mean, you know, Mark, let me teach you about coaching today. I mean, don't walk up and put it in somebody's face, but help people get better with what you learn. And even if, you know, you want a sounding board or don't want a sounding board, but you have to output these things that you've learned in order to be a better teacher or better knowledge base of that information. I mean, the best way to learn something is by teaching it, right? I mean, I think we would all agree with that, because if you can articulate that into your words and somebody else's ability to receive it, that's a win as a leader in order to create influence. So really take the things that you've learned and give them to people. So I want to move on to number 4 now. And I told you there was something for all those people who couldn't figure out, when do I have time to learn?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Number 4, create your stop doing list.
Oh.
Time to prune the bushes here. Get rid of all of the dead old growth that's going on in your life. And stop.
Oh, this one's painful. This one's
doing.
painful, Adam. Writing down all the things we need to stop doing. I can already think of a few things. There's like, oh, maybe I should delete that game off my phone because I find I kill time by playing that little game, you know. This list is already growing.
Go on your screen time, buddy.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
What if you were reading a book or listening to a podcast or something like that, instead of trying to figure out the next way to stack blocks on each other or knock down a building with a bird or something like that? Okay.
Oh, yes. All right. That's good.
So stop
good.
doing. Make this list and keep it going and growing, because you're going to continue to run across things that you need to stop doing. They may be things that you say. They may be things that you do. It may be when you're bored, you walk into the pantry and grab a handful of potato chips.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. What should we stop doing? Do you get angry easily about something? When somebody speeds up in traffic to get into your lane, do you speed up to block them? I mean, do you wave to people? I try to wave to people when I drive to the office, and that's not every day anymore. But I try to wave to 3 people every time I drive to the office and every time I drive home from the office. Why? Kindness, delivering. So, some people wave with one finger. I wave with my whole hand and I smile. Those people who wave with one finger need to put that on their stop doing list. But I mean, what should you stop doing is really the big question in life. This is a big one, people. This is really important. Number 4 is stop doing. All right. Number 5, final one. Big one here. Drum roll. There we go. All right. I know we have sound effects on place, but anyhow, this is important, folks. Number 5. Whoa, there it is. Relationships. And you're like, what about it?
Relationships.
Everything happens because of your associations, folks. The people that you spend time with dictate how your year is going to turn out. Think about that. Remember when we were growing up and our parents would say, hey, be careful who you hang out with because people are going to judge you by that. Like,
yeah.
It's true, okay? Jim Rohn, great inspirational personal development guy, said you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, okay?
Yeah, that's right.
The average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Choose wisely. So here's the thing. Find somebody who will help you hold yourself accountable to the standards of the group that they're in, and build your relationships around those people. And guess what? Everybody else around you will start kind of following. Mm-hmm. That's how leaders lead. They inspire change in people that makes them greater. So relationships. So let's review these 5 real quick.
Yep.
Okay. First one, write it down.
That's right. Create a contract.
That's
it.
Right.
Add
Second
2.
One, learn. Go learn something. And I don't mean go watch the next Netflix series, okay? I mean go out there and find something genuine to learn and get good at it. Third one, take what you've learned and give. Give. You might have learned how to make good soup. Go give it to people, okay? But go learn something and then go give it. And it's so fulfilling. Fourth one, create that stop doing list. Keep this a living document throughout the year and keep reflecting on it, probably weekly. What am I going to stop doing this week? And if you need to, if you got a lot of bad habits, maybe daily. And then the 5th one, relationships. What do you want to become? Go find people like that and hang out with them and do what they do, because it will make a difference in your life. So, Mark, those are 5 ways to start 2022 right. is figure those things out and go execute on them. But nothing happens without taking action. So don't be afraid of it. Action overcomes fear. Fear stops action. So let's take action. Let's get that fear out of the way, and let's have an amazing 2022.
Fantastic. This is going to be a great year. This is going to be an amazing year for a lot of people. And I think that these 5 things are an awesome way to get started, get direction, and start putting yourself, on the right path. And so thank you so much. Hey, guys, thanks for listening to Start With a Win. If you're ready to create personal and business success, subscribe to this podcast. If you're not subscribed to this podcast, a lot of people passively listen through the web browser or through an email or a link on social media, but go and subscribe to Start With a Win. You'll get notified every single time we have a new episode come out, and it'll help us get the word out and reach more people. So we really appreciate that. Also, if you haven't gotten the Start With a Win book yet and you need to learn something, get that Start With a Win book. Anywhere you get your books, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. So get the book, Start With a Win. And the nice thing about that is that all the author's proceeds go to Children's Miracle Network hospitals. So you'll be doing something good too. Head over to startwithawin.com for more great content. And until next time, remember, start with a win. This is for our YouTube buddies now who are stuck around past the outro, and they're hanging out with us, and they get the extra content, the extra gold, if you will. So this is really good. I think again, I feel like every single year, whatever it is, right? Whether it's beneficial or not beneficial, but a lot of times people wait until January to start making decisions and commitments in their life, and it's almost like another opportunity. Even though I always say that Mondays are that opportunity to start something new and be positive, and you have a whole empty week ahead of you, a canvas that you can create however you want. A lot of people look at January that way, like they make New Year's resolutions and they do all this kind of stuff. So I think this is fantastic, and I love this roadmap because it allows someone to just sit down with a book and a pen and really just be thoughtful. And if you just take 15, 20, 30 minutes to write these 5 things down, I think that I'm going to do this. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to write, what these things are, because I'm looking forward to 2022. I think it's going to be great. What are some things that what are some things on your list? Like, what are some things you want to learn? I know you mentioned in the podcast that you want to become a better coach. And so that's kind of on your list of things to learn. You said you're going to stop bringing your iPhone into the workout room, and you're going to leave that in the locker. What are some other things that you have on your contract for 2022?
I'm really, really tight on a lot of these things. I want consistency in my life, Mark. A big part of my 2022 goals are to be closer in a relationship with the people that I know, not just my friends, but the people I do business with. And frankly, I don't like to do business with people who are not my friends. So, the relationships are a big part for me. So that's a big one. Learning. I don't want to have any gaps in my learning this year. I'd like to, I'm learning addicted. Hi, my name's Adam, and I love to learn. So I'll probably continue to take these different classes, or I will continue to. I'm committing to continue taking these different classes. So stuff like that, and then the give part is big. We spent a lot of 2021 getting a book completed, writing the book. So I want to. I'm committed to creating more materials out of that book. Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, I think that's fantastic. Yeah, I think learning is one of those things too. It's a good addiction. I'm a huge fan of that. But anyways, hey, fantastic episode. Thank you guys for hanging out on YouTube and watching the shows here. I know that sometimes visual learning is a better way, and it's, you can see our happy faces and connect with us. But yeah, don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell icon so you get notified when we get a new episode released. And if you liked this episode, hit that thumbs up icon, because the algorithm likes that thumbs up icon, and it will show this video to more people, so you'll be helping others out as well. Until next time, we'll see you when we see you.